We're gonna spread happiness. We're gonna spread freedom. Obama's gonna change it, 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 change it.
Truth, are you awake?
The fifth column.
Cops on the beat.
The fifth column.
Cops on the beat.
The fifth column.
Crime and intelligence.
The fifth column.
Cops on the beat.
There comes a time when silence is betrayal. The fifth column. The fifth column.
Fingerprints or facial recognition. Fingerprints or facial recognition.
Biometric tracking. Biometric.
Facial recognition.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it.
The fifth column.
The fifth column is your insurrectionist news source covering the ongoing revolution and struggle for freedom in America. Brought to you by the American Freedom Radio Network in partnership with Atlas Media Online. The fifth column, speaking truth to power. And now, here's your host, Hank Xavier, the HX.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Bleeding Edge. It is Monday, August the 10th, and you're live with me, the one and only HX, on the fifth column on AmericanFreedomRadio.com. After a weekend of interesting news, we witnessed the police state continue forward with the brutalization of American citizens. We see them attacking the weak, advancing the agenda of the police state. We see them taking on the vicious and terroristic oppression and violence of the 84-year-old Alzheimer victim. We got to address this threat in America. We cannot allow 84-year-old Alzheimer's victims to walk the streets. We must do something. We must do something about this Alzheimer menace. It's ridiculous. So we were talking about this Miss Virginia. Yes, Virginia. Yes, Virginia. There is a Hitler. Miss Virginia is an 84-year-old African-American, has Alzheimer's disease. Like many other sufferers, sometimes she suffers from an inability to understand her environment and her reality. She sometimes forgets who the people that love her are. It's a brain condition which deteriorates cognitive faculty. This is well understood about Alzheimer's. The symptoms are well documented. These police people, if nothing else, should be trained in the ability to spot these kind of illnesses, and should then be trained, especially in the case of an 84-year-old woman, should then be trained to resolve the incident without resorting to violence first. But this is institutional. Let's just remember that. This is institutional. This is a matter of policy. Violence first, questions later. Right? Because this comes out of a shift away from being peace officers who protect, and now we have seen a shift toward enforcement officers, and officers whose number one priority is to enforce the present order. And so violence becomes the first tactic on the list of in the toolbox of these police people. They no longer stop to worry about nonviolent conflict resolution. And had they been nonviolent, all they would have had to do was just there's a million ways that could have been resolved that I'm thinking through right now. Like, why couldn't you have just eased up on her and been real quiet and kind and real gentle and taken her hand that had the knife so that she couldn't hurt herself? Why not hold her hand? Why not reach out and hold her hand rather than slam her to the ground, which is what happened? During the video, a male officer can be heard shouting at the crowd, "We're not going to hurt her, step back." Moments later, an unseen male asks, "What would you do if someone slammed your mother to the ground?" The narrator adds, Officer Fullerton of the Whitehall Police Department. He picked up a phone and called someone and then continued, "Yeah, I'm out of here. Sitting here watching these police beat up an 80-year-old lady. Man, yeah, you know, this is going on the news tonight, bro. I got the news footage." Dotson's daughter said her mother needed stitches to close the wounds, and her hand may have been broken. Come on. This is an 84-year-old woman with Alzheimer's disease, and you're going to slam her to the ground. I mean, there's a picture here. Like I said, go to atlasmediaonline.com and click on the chat tab, and you'll be able to get a link to the article here. But there's a still from the video that shows this 84-year-old woman laying on her back on the ground, a pool of blood collecting beneath her head. The article goes on, police declined. Police declined to press charges against the woman. Oh, really? They declined to press charges against an 84-year-old woman with Alzheimer's? Oh, thank you. Thank you, police state. You're so kind. You're so generous. You're so understanding. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for only slamming her head into the ground, which could have possibly ended her life at that moment. Thank you so very much for not pressing charges for that incident. Thanks. You are a kind and generous benefactor, Police State USA. What would we do without you? Oh, I know. We'd have 84-year-old ladies with Alzheimer's disease and distress who don't come out of that incident with broken hands and fractured skulls. Even the weakest among these. When this machine can attack even the weakest among us, and even most especially the weakest among us, if we take a look at the range of brutality that's been meted out against the citizenry over the last 10 years, even longer. We can go back to Kent State here, But if we look at the history of police brutality being carried out against the American citizenry, I would offer, and this is an unresearched opinion, this is just conjecture, but it seems to me that being in casual observance of these things as they've progressed over the past couple of years, seems to me that there seems to be a trend to target even the weakest among us. Even the weakest among us. So it's like, what's next? Well, there just is really, there is no what's next. It's all been done before. We've all heard stories about the police going to a 13-year-old girl's birthday party and breaking her arm. This happened. They broke this baby girl's arm, wrenching her arm behind her at her own birthday party. We can go back and look up incidents where police come in and violently subdue 6-year-old boys. 6-year-old boys. Handcuff them and shackle them. We can look that stuff up. So this seems to be a trend. Like when the confrontation is with someone who is obviously much, much weaker, it seems like the violence accelerates. Because there's no repercussion. And that's why this is happening. This is happening because America has been victimized, has been homogenized into this Jell-O pudding mold of non-resistance, of passivism, right? Don't fight back. Don't fight back. We're pacifists. We believe in peace.
Police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown. And not the other color some police fit. They have the authority to kill